Hey everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 43 of Today with Jared James. Today I'm going to talk about the title, Navigating Through a World Filled with Fear and Opportunity. As I always say, guys, give us a 5-star review, a written review. We need more written reviews, but especially those 5 stars, guys. If you hear something you like, go on the platform of your choice and just click those 5 stars. It takes 2 seconds, but it's so helpful. I am, and of course share this with someone who is going to benefit from it. I am joined here today by my trusty sidekick, producer of the show, Tom Dodimo. Tom, what's happening, man?
That's me. I'm here. How's it going?
That's me. I'm here. How you doing today, man?
I'm super duper. How you doing?
How's your last week been?
It's been great. It's Wednesday.
Okay.
It's been all right. It's been
Good. You've been a little busy here?
I have.
I've seen your headphones on a lot.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
I have been talking with people, helping people out. I've been...
Tom works in our client success department, by the way. Yeah.
I do.
For the CRM, for Jarger Media, yeah.
Get some other stuff up and running. It's been...
You guys have been shooting videos. You've been basically trying to figure out how to get... when people sign up to get a higher percentage, then put their contacts in. So we're shooting some videos, we're doing some giveaways, we're doing that kind of stuff. Because we know that when people put their contacts in, the chances of them sticking around and actually using a system drastically increase, right? There's some kind of metaphor there. When you put your contacts in, the future looks brighter. You like that?
That's not bad.
That was like an eye contact, but I was making a connection to
like an actual person contact.
An actual person.
That's not bad.
Unlike myself.
Right.
Without a heart. Anyway, so today, guys, what I want to talk about, and this is, I did a Facebook Live on this, but I wanted to go a little bit more into details here, and you feel free to jump in as you want to or whatever, but by the time you're hearing this, we're a week after when I've been thinking about this, or a little more than a week over when we actually shot this. So we are smack dab right now in the coronavirus, craziness right now. Events are being canceled. I mean, it's crazy, man. Like major events are being canceled. Facebook and many other companies just pulled out of South by Southwest. People are like, should I travel? Should I not? And I want to preface all this. By the way, this is called Navigating Through the World Filled with Fear and Opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity right now, and I'm going to talk about that. But I also just want to spend a minute, for any of you that allow me to have your attention for a little bit and just understand that people filled with fear on a regular basis, that's not a leadership position, okay? And I want you to kind of like just step back and pause a second, right? We're nothing but 24/7 news cycle right now on the coronavirus, I'm to the place right now where the next time I hear about the coronavirus, it better come with a lime and a bottle opener. I'm just over it when you look at the stats, right? I'm not saying that you don't wash your hands and you don't be safe. I'm just saying understand where it's coming from, right? Like, we live in a 24/7 news cycle right now. We live in a place where we say, statistics show us, we don't trust the media, we don't, anything. And while we say one thing, we act another way. We don't trust the media, and yet everybody's getting their marching orders from the media. And they're buying into whatever the media is selling them. And you need to remember, guys, please, the media makes money on eyeballs. They make money on attention. And so when they find something that is going to get attention and hysteria and everything else, do you think they show more of it and play to it? Or do you think they back off because, they're not necessarily giving everybody all the facts? I can tell you what they do. I mean, anybody remember, do you remember, I don't even know if you would even remember this, like you're young, but you were still of TV watching age. Do you remember when the media went nuts over like the shark attacks for like 3 months? They just went every day, another shark attack in Florida, another shark attack in Australia. Do you remember that or no?
They do that like every year.
Oh, well, there was one year they did it like insane, right?
Last year was mostly up in like Cape Cod and that kind of thing. It was like every day there was like, oh, somebody got attacked by a shark.
Dude, so it was at that point, every day was shark attacks. That was the leading story every day. And the funny thing was, if you looked at the stats, shark attacks went down that year. Like went down. A year before that, they focused solely on kidnappings. Everyone was afraid to have their kids go outside because every day it was another kid in Pennsylvania was taken, another kid in whatever, and it was, whatever. Kidnappings, do you think they went up or down that year?
I'm going to go ahead and guess they went down.
They went down that year, okay? And it just goes to show you guys, when I say put things in their perspective, stop taking your marching orders from these places who do not have your best interest at hand. Like, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about ratings. They're thinking about money. They're thinking about getting views for their commercials. They're thinking about these things. Like, just to put things in perspective before we talk about opportunity. If you're listening to this and you're like, Jared, you're disrespecting the coronavirus. You know, this is a serious thing. People are dying. They're dying from the coronavirus, okay? Look, yes, people have died from the coronavirus, okay? Do you realize, I know that we have people watching right now from all over the world, but like, do you realize in America alone, in the first quarter of this year during flu season, 45 million Americans got the flu. 45 million. 0.14% of those ended up dying. That comes out to 61,000 people in America, not around the world. 61,000 people in America. America, home of the free, land of the brave, every medicine you need, anything you need can be delivered right away. 61,000 died in the first quarter. Like, do you think if they were focusing on the flu every day, 24/7, and going crazy about it, and oh my God, watch it, don't go outside, you don't think there'd be hysteria in America?
That's probably their plan B.
Like,
once this dies down, it's going to be the flu.
Like, people wouldn't just be washing their hands. They'd be ordering on Amazon with a one-stop click a portable tub that you just go around in everywhere, and you're just clean all the... I mean, seriously though, think about that for a second. I was listening to a doctor the other day, and he was like, it was hilarious. He was on this podcast, and he's just like, people have got to stop losing their minds. Like, you have a better chance statistically of dying in a car crash on the way to CVS to get a surgical mask than you do of contracting the coronavirus into your system. Like, it's people have gotten out of hand with this. Like, even those surgical masks, man, like, you should come to the airport with me. It's insane, man. Like, there would always be people with masks here and there. And if one sat next to you, you used to always think, okay, are you protecting me from you or you from me? Like, that, I'm not really comfortable right now. Now everybody has them on. But guys, go look up those masks. They don't protect you from outside stuff coming in. They protect you from passing what you have on to other people. It just goes to show you, like, what a pawn mentality we become. We're sheep. We don't even know how those masks work. We just go out and buy them in hysteria and wear them everywhere. If I told you the number of messages I'm getting from people right now, oh my God, I can't believe you're still traveling. Oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, are you washing your hands every 2 seconds? Oh my God, oh my God. Guys, I'm on planes. They're already disgusting. They never stop being disgusting. Like, it's my favorite thing to do when I get off a plane is take a shower in acid, preferably. Like, just get it all off of me, right? But we're buying into this, like, without even, guys, can we please use our heads? Like, please. I said a couple years ago, I was talking about, like, everybody's a piece on the chessboard. It's just a matter of what piece you are, right? And you got to know what piece you are because you're made to move that way, you know? And if a rook tries to move like a castle, and if a whatever, like, it's never gonna perform at the level that it was created to perform at, right? And we live in a society right now where everybody's trying to Instagram off, and they're trying to, like, be kings and queens. And yet when you really look at how they're acting, we act like pawns. Like, we act like pawns on a regular basis, being told what to do, how to think, what to be afraid of. Here's what to be afraid of today. Here's what you fear today. Here's what you look out for today. And just like when people are in a place of confusion, when they're in a place of fear, do they act or not act? Like, think about it. You do not act when you're in a place of fear. Just like you do not act. Guys, the other day, the U.S. stock market lost almost $1 trillion. I want you to think about that. Trillion, with a T. $1 trillion. Major companies are canceling their events because people, we can't get this, we can't, whatever it is. Can we just step back and have just a slight moment of reality for a second right now? Like, I'm almost like, this is like what happens when you don't have focus, right? This is what happens when you don't have passion. The human experience is one where you're designed to be passionate about something. You know what I mean? It's why people get into relationships and just go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if Cocoa Puffs is their boyfriend. Like, you know, it's why people get into jobs and they just throw themselves into those jobs, and they, you know, it's all that matters, and it's all that, you know, it's why they get into a hobby, it's why they get into, you are wired to be passionate about something, right? But the greater problem, the greater point is that if you're not passionate about something, you know what your body reaches out, your mind reaches out to try to do? It tries to do what it was created to do, you know? And so when you're not fully focused on something, you'll be fully focused on something. You know what I mean? Like if you don't wake up I think I gave the example last week, and I talked about how, like, I was at my dinner table and those people were talking about, like, the killers in Darien or New Canaan or something like that, and I knew nothing about the story. And they're like, what, you know, of course you know. What are you talking about? Don't act like you don't know. I didn't know, right? Like, there's enough going on in my head than to allow crap. Like, why in today's world would you watch the news? And by the way, you might watch the news. I don't know. But, like, do you watch the news?
Absolutely not.
And are you just saying that because, like, you're here right now and whatever? Why do you not watch the news?
I don't even have cable.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
There's that phrase that says no news is good news.
Right.
Right? When I was younger, I used to think that it meant that, like, literally no news that's happening right now is good.
Right.
That's what I used to think. I thought that's what the expression was.
Right.
That's why I don't watch the news.
Interesting. It's funny because, you know, the news has a thing like, if it bleeds, it leads. You have to know what you're getting into when you put this stuff on, right? They are there for eyeballs. They are there, like, positivity does not sell. And again, when I talk about, I think that sometimes we're a world that lives in, you know, we want to live in Insta tags and live in Instagram quotes and whatever. There's a big difference when you actually live. Like, to actually have to do it, to actually have to think that way, to actually have to, is a whole different thing, right? And when you look at, you know, one of our 7 non-negotiables, when you look at for our students, right? One of the 7 non-negotiables, the first step, the first non-negotiable every single day is to fuel up, right? Now, when you think about that, though, you could fuel up on the wrong thing. You know, the idea is to fuel up on the things that actually get you closer to that thing that you're passionate about, to get you closer to that thing that you actually care about, to get you closer to that thing that really matters for you, right? And fueling up on the news, I'm telling you right now, they're not sitting in the news going, what good news can we spread? What goodwill? What goodwill, Tiny Tim, can we spread to the world right now? Like, they're not doing that. They're like, how can we strike fear, panic, you know? And as a society, guys, for those of you that are the other end of my voice right now, I can't affect the whole world. I don't have that power yet. Maybe one day I will. Right now, I don't have that power. But for right now, if you're listening to me, please, God, I'm begging you, please stop buying in to the hysteria and the panic and the bull crap that these places feed you on a regular basis. Where, look, mark my words, it may be by the time this comes out, by the way, that this whole thing's over and they moved on to something else. It's very possible, because that's a week and a day away.
It's likely.
But it's likely. But I promise you that within a month, this is all over. It's not that it's over. I mean, the flu killed 61,000 people this quarter in America alone. It's not over. I just mean the hysteria, we've moved on to something else that's now getting better ratings, will be taking over, you know, something else to cancel events. And by the way, it hurts me too. I've got friends, luckily I haven't been affected by this yet, but I've got friends in the speaking industry who, you know, their incomes are being affected, you know, by places canceling last second. Because the events are saying that, you know, it's unforeseeable, it's an act of God, they're trying to use the clauses in the contract. Like, this is not a reason to not do events, like, or to not have people travel, or to not have people live your life, guys. I mean, look at the stats. There is disease everywhere. There is everywhere. Every time you step outside, there's a chance you get hit by a car. And by the way, the stats are more people do than this going on right now, right? Every day you wake up, you're eligible for death. This is how I motivate people, Tom, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, yes. But it's the truth. Every day you wake up, the moment you were born, you were eligible for death. Okay? You can die or you can live. You're going to die regardless, right? They say everyone dies, not everybody lives. Right? I'm sure somebody says that. I've actually never heard that, but I'm sure someone says that. As I said it, I went, that sounds so cliche. I'm sure it's said. Because that sounds too whatever for someone not to have said it. But it is true. It's guaranteed everybody dies. It is not guaranteed everybody lives. And to live in fear is not living at all. Okay? It's just be precautious, be smart, be whatever. But don't curl up in a corner. You know, separate yourself from the world because of what you heard from some person reading a teleprompter on the news. Please, please, I beg it of you. You know, don't listen to someone like me and say, you know, I get messages all the time. I want to be like you. You know, I'm going to do whatever and I'm going to make it. Again, writing it on Instagram is one thing. This is when the real stuff happens, guys. Warren Buffett talks about it all the time. When people are selling, that's when he buys. When people are buying, that's when he sells. When people are happy, that's when he's sad. When people are quiet, that's when he's loud. When people are loud, that's when he's... I feel like we're doing the Dr. Seuss day from a couple days ago, but you get my point. Like, it's one thing to talk about a salmon going upstream, but every once in a while, you got to take a swim yourself. Okay? And it's easy to talk about, but it's not easy to do. This is an excellent opportunity for so many of you to exercise that muscle that pushes away fear, acts in faith, and takes advantage of opportunities right now when so many other people are panicking. I mean, God, we've got a situation right now in America, interest rates are like historically low. Like if you are right now not refinancing your home, telling every single one of your clients, every single one of to do the exact same thing, you're missing it right now because it is a huge opportunity right now, right? If you're not putting out blasts to your database and ads and postcards and whatever you want to do that say things like, coronavirus got you scared, well, if you're going to bunker down anyway, you might as well do it in a bigger house. And there's never been a better time.
That's not bad, right?
You can afford more house than you ever could right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not? If you're going to bunker down, might as well expand your plot, so to say, right? If you're not taking advantage of that right now, well, you know why you wouldn't take advantage of it? Because you're just so focused on how many more people got it. Oh my God, is it up to 122? Holy crap, have 3 people died? Guys, you never want to make light of anybody dying. Like, it's a terrible, terrible thing, okay? But more people drowned in their bathtub yesterday. Like, perspective. Please, please, can we get a little perspective, okay? Fear takes you away from opportunity. It doesn't lead you towards opportunity. It takes you away from opportunity, right? And you can't ultimately be a pawn, act like a pawn, and then expect to get the results of a king or a queen. It doesn't happen, right? Kings and queens don't sit back and wait for marching orders on how they're supposed to feel and what they're supposed to worry about. Kings and queens are doing kings and queen crap. I'm saying that very nicely, on a regular basis, okay? So guys, here's my message to you. This is a simple one. Fear, no good. Opportunity, always there. You miss opportunity when you're focused on fear, and I'm telling you, the places that you're listening to do not have your best interest at hand. They want you to be fearful. It drives ratings. It drives all of these other money and dollars and everything else. And while everyone else is doing it, the most successful people, if you watch what they do the opposite. Easy to say you want to swim upstream, but every once in a while, you got to stop watching a salmon. You got to go for a swim yourself.